Hi, Rosie Galligan. Hi, thanks for joining me this morning. How are you, first of all?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And I can see all of the Red Roses merch behind you. I mean, has it sunk in that win quite just yet?
Yeah, I think it's just about sunk in. We started back at our clubs yesterday, so it's actually really nice to be back with the girls and a new focus, a new goal. Obviously, I will never forget that final at Allianz Stadium in front of 82,000 home fans, but also really nice to be back with the girls and back into like a bit of a routine with them.
What's the reception been like from your club? How have they kind of welcomed you back into the fold?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I think you always know that they've got that you've got their support. Obviously, don't see a lot of them for 3, 4 months, but actually a few text messages here and there throughout the tournament. But just seeing them, loads of hugs, loads of congratulations. Really excited to have us back in the mix. And I think sometimes there's an international when you go away, you actually get a bit nervous about coming back because they've been holding down the fort, and you want to make sure that they don't lose their sense of their sense of belonging as well. So it's about making sure that we come back into their environment and lift ourselves up and make sure that we don't bring them down because they've been doing really well. They just won the cup final on the weekend, and I was there to celebrate that with them. So that day was all about them, which was nice.
Oh, that's really nice. You've got that relationship where they can like celebrate you and your achievements and then vice versa as well. So talk to me about, I guess, I want to talk about your journey to get to this World Cup because it's not been straightforward for you, has it? There's been quite a few bumps along the road.
Yeah, no, there has for sure. I think sometimes I forget how many little bumps there's been and how many big bumps there's been. I think you remember all of the highs so much more than you do the lows. But without those lows, I definitely wouldn't be who I am today, both on and off the field. It's made me so much mentally stronger, and also physically as well. But I think my fair share of bad luck came in 2019 when I contracted bacterial meningitis, which left me hospitalised for 10 days. They said if I came in a day later, I could have been amputated from the waist down. So I think that for me was like a real eye opener as to like not to take life too seriously, like take any opportunity that I could get and do it with a smile. When I see little girls and little boys now, when I go to clubs, like they always ask for advice, and I always say just do what makes you happy and play with a smile because that is what I do now with my rugby. And then I came back from that, managed to get back just before Christmas, and then got dropped in a line out in January 2020 when I broke my ankle. And that for me was like a realization where I knew I could play, but I probably wasn't as healthy as I could have been. It was taking me a lot longer still to recover between training sessions and games. And I think as I was laying on the floor on gas and air, I was like, this is my time now to really listen to my body. I was going to be out anyway because I had to have a big ankle surgery, but just to like take a bit of time for myself. I finished my dissertation 2 months early and managed to get a first class degree. Little things like that. Like I did a lot of off field work on myself in order to better myself for the future.
I think that's really important. And I just wanted to pick up on what you said there about kind of listening to yourself. I think I would say as women, we're so much more maybe in tune with our own bodies than men are because we're cyclical and we have all these different things going on that men don't have to deal with. And I just think there's so much more research that can be done, right, into the female body and how like hormones and our cycles and just our different physiology impacts us when we play sport, whether that's at elite level or not. I don't think there's kind of enough research done into it. And I mean, my kind of area of expertise is football, and we've just seen the London City Lionesses come into the WSL, and they're a team that's not affiliated with the men's team, and their owner has been speaking a lot about how they want to treat the players as women and not like have the hand down kit from the men or use the same training facilities because as women we are so different, and we kind of don't speak about that enough, really, do we?
No, I agree, and I think what really hit me was Cromwell Hospital did some research and found that 34% of women adapt their training to meet their demands of their cycle, and that for me is really like really good to hear because that's also something that we're massive about at the Red Roses and at Saracens. And I'm in a very fortunate position where I have medical professionals on tap pretty much every day. But to know that there's other hospitals as well and getting behind women's health and really pushing that is phenomenal. And I think there's so much that women still have to achieve. We've still got to find that optimal level of performance, and understanding your cycle. And I'm going to call it a snackosaurus because that's how I remember it. But there's different elements of a period where you have different elements of your body's doing different things. So sometimes it's about physical changes, sometimes it's about actually you're just really hungry or you're feeling really lethargic, and understanding where you are on that cycle is just massively important to be able to like give yourself what you need for those days. An example being iron tablets. Like if you're feeling really low in energy, like a little iron tablet is massively key to my performance as well. Like I pretty much take those every day just to keep healthy, and along with my other nutrients. So understanding your body as a woman is so much more important than anyone probably thinks. And I'm really glad to see that there is starting to be a bit more research into women's health, both just in general life, but also in maternity, and people coming back into sport after having babies. Like their bodies have changed, they've been through something incredible, but it has left some I was about to say long lasting effects, but it's not serious in that sense, but it has changed their bodies. And understanding how they can get back into sport and still feel confident and motivated to go and achieve, and that's also really important.
Yeah, it is really important, and it's something that I'm like massively passionate about. And I wanted to talk to you as well about something else that you've been really open with, which is the fact that you had breast reduction surgery as well. And you've obviously spoken about how that has helped you in terms of your comfort and your performance. What kind of led you to, I guess, undergo that procedure in the first place?
I think for me it was the physical element. So I had a really bad back all the time. I was having to double sports bra, trying to play elite sport, and it just really wasn't working for me. I also looked at myself. I had to sometimes wear size 20 tops just to be able to fit my boobs, whereas I'm probably a size 14 in general day-to-day life. So little things like that just really made me feel a bit insecure as well. And I sat down with my family, like kind of told them about it. My mum had had one when she was younger as well. She was a sports person, and she completely understood how I felt. And having my mum be able to understand that probably made it so much easier. I've always been a girl that's had to wear a sports bra in PE. Like I'd want to fit in and wear my ugly sports bra underneath, as I'd say, but then put a little crop top over the top just to match the other girls with smaller boobs. And I think now for me, having been through that and knowing how I felt in myself, like I want to be able to use my platform to show those girls that sports bras are pretty these days. Like they've come so far. Don't get me wrong, they were ugly back in the day, but they have come so far. And to be able to help them and educate on how important breast health is, and the importance of wearing a sports bra, like that's really important to me. So my role as a Boo ambassador has just been massive in that part.
Yeah, and I can't even, I mean, as someone who has smaller breasts, I can't really relate to it. And also, I don't play elite sport either, but I've listened to Millie Bright talk about this a lot. And the fact that she would go and hide in the toilets and put a double sports bra on before going onto the pitch, and then the back pain that she was experiencing. And I was just thinking, even that like little thing of going and hiding away from your teammates before, like to get changed before you go out, that even that, like, regardless of whatever pain you're in or discomfort, like that must kind of, I guess, take like a mental toll and also affect your performance in that way because you're kind of like having to take that extra little time when maybe your peers are warming up or they're all having a bit of a laugh and you kind of miss out on that little bit or it's just always in the back of your mind, isn't it? So it kind of might like play on your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's I can completely relate to Millie in terms of when you're finished at the end of a game, and you're having a shower. Like I would always be so insecure to go into the showers without my bra on, but you'd have other girls just feeling confident and free to be able to do that in like a safe space. And that for me was like I was so much more confident walking in with fresh scars with smaller boobs than I was with my own natural boobs. So that for me was a massive like point of a massive high for me in terms of like feeling good in my skin. But yeah, it is really hard, and I think that's something that we'd like to stamp out, like that stigma of everyone's got different bodies, everyone has their own needs, but if we can celebrate different bodies and different boob sizes as well, then that's even better. And I think what's really great as well is there are so many sports bras out there now for all shapes and sizes. I have different sports bras and different sizes for different points in my period. Sometimes my boobs have gone up 2 sizes and I just feel like I need a bit more room. And other times I don't feel like I need it as much. So it's just understanding your body. And I think that's similar for anything, like for day-to-day life, for injury prevention. Like, you know your body the best, whether that's how you're feeling now or how you're feeling after exercise. And I think that you know the most about yourself and what makes you comfortable, but it's about having the support network around you to be able to allow you to be yourself. And that's what's really special about rugby as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to help both on and off the pitch. And I wanted to talk to you about, go back to talk about that, the Rugby World Cup win and just what it's going to do for rugby in this country, for women and girls getting involved, because we've obviously seen it with the Lionesses with the last two Euros. And we spoke quite a lot about how big this summer was going to be for women's sport with the Euros, with the rugby, and there's also cricket going on as well. But how important is it going to be for women at any age, but especially young girls as well, to be able to see like role models on TV? Perhaps they're seeing this for the first time, some of them, and think, I want to do that. I want to play rugby, whether that is again at elite level or whether it is that they just want to go and join their local team and have a bit of a run around and kind of join in that way.
Yeah, we're really hoping that we've changed and paved the path for women's sport, and especially women's rugby. One thing that you touched on there is the accessibility to it, and definitely in this tournament there was so much coverage, which was fantastic to see. Not only picking up on the rugby, but also individuals' personalities. You've got the likes of Ellie Kildan, Alona Mar, and just being able to celebrate how different and unique everyone is massively important. And there's the phrase of, if you can see it you can be it, and that has been massively important this tournament, because I think we've shown that regardless of your shape, your size, how you speak, how you dress, like, there is a space in rugby for everyone. And that is what's so special about the sport, and that's what got me into the sport. So whether it's that you're trying to be the next Red Rose, or you just want to go and pick up a ball and play with your friends in the local park, like, please do it, because it genuinely has changed my life.
That is what I really love about it. And especially, I think women's sport, I just think you get to see those personalities. I love them. Like you said, Ellie. I mean, Ellie is from about 5 minutes down the road from where I'm from.
Ah,
We're both from
nice.
Leeds. And it's just nice to see like someone who's so relatable on your screen. Hannah, I became obsessed with Hannah throughout the tournament. I was like following her socials. And
Yeah.
I just think it's nice to be able to see, yeah, those like role models that you can look up to. And like you said, that like they're all so different. Like everyone's got a different personality, all different shapes and sizes as well. And you can kind of see, perhaps see yourself reflected on your TV screen for the first time for some people.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's what's great, is that it didn't just shine the limelight on a few individuals. It genuinely showed a mix of people. And yeah, like, I think social media these days can be so powerful. It can be quite a scary place at times, but I also think it really allows us to understand to understand people's ways, and give them an insight as to what it takes to be a rugby player. But I think what's also amazing is that we show that we're still normal. Whenever I go to see clubs, or if I do visits to go do a talk, like, I always say, like, I am just Rosie Galligan from the little local village in Addington. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm anything special, because I never thought I'd be an international rugby player, like, speaking to a room of people. So if I can show those little girls and boys, but also men and women, that I am just your local girl, then that's important to me as well, because it means that they can go and achieve something as well.
I want to talk to you as well a little bit about like the grassroots structure, I guess, because again, we saw it in football where we had such a huge uptick in young girls wanting to play football after the 2022 Euros. And there wasn't maybe the infrastructure in place for all of them. I think it was 2.3 million more girls took up the sport. And I do a lot of work with like grassroots clubs, and they said we went from not even having a team, like we had like three girls and they had to play with the boys, to suddenly we've got like 10 teams of just girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do we put them? How do we get the pitch time? How do we get the space? And I guess the beauty of rugby and football really is that you can just go down to your local park and play and have a kickabout. But if we are wanting to maybe grow that next generation of players, we are going to have to invest in the grassroots level and have the infrastructure in place to make sure that when girls turn up to their local rugby club, they're not turned away because they've got too many, they can't cope with kind of the increased demand, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the RFU have done so much background work to make sure that this isn't the case and that we can hopefully cater for everyone. Something you definitely don't want to be doing is turning people away when you've worked so hard to get them through the door. So I do think there's a lot of work happening behind closed doors. I'm probably not the best person to ask in terms of what's actually happening, but I know for a fact that there was Rugby Fest happened straight after the World Cup. We went down to our local teams and just being able to see 60 to 100 girls wanting to train with us was phenomenal. Similar to Saracens, we're doing a training with the Stars next week. And just to be able to give those girls the opportunity to come down on a Wednesday night and meet probably 15 people that went to the World Cup, like that's going to be something that they hopefully never forget. So I'm hoping that everyone's getting behind it and they're not just trying to get on the hype now. Hopefully it's been something that they've thought about, and that legacy piece of post that World Cup, they're really wanting to back women's sport and girls' sport. So fingers crossed it's already all in place and no one's getting turned away.
Well, Rosie, I've had such a lovely time speaking to you. It's incredible hearing about all the work that you do, not only on the pitch but off the pitch as well, to raise awareness of, health issues and kind of female health, to getting more girls involved in the sport. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.